Greetings, fellow human. I hope you're having a super awesome-tastic day. My name is Barron, and in today's video, we're learning about autofocus and manual focus, the benefits of each, and when you would pick one over the other. Yeah! Autofocus is a feature in your camera that determines whether or not the subject, what you're trying to take a picture or video of, is actually sharp. You don't want it to be blurified. It uses crazy technological wizardry and magic in order for the sensor to determine how far away your subject is from the lens. Then it tells the lens, and there's a little tiny motor inside the lens, and then it moves inside there to actually make it sharp and stuff. Wizards. And he's got a beard with a hat, because he's a wizard and doesn't allow people to pass. He's a wizard. Manual focus is when you don't let the camera determine how to do the focusing thing, and you actually do it yourself with the focus ring that's on the lens, because you're the wizard. You're the focusing wizard. Speed is a big thing with autofocus. You can get your subject in focus a whole lot faster most of the time if you let the camera use the autofocus functions. There's several different kinds, like single shot and zone modes and stuff like that. You just pick the right one that you need, but it can be a lot faster than doing it manually. Also, if you're tracking a subject that's in motion and you want to make sure that it's super sharp, then a lot of times your camera has a mode that will actually focus on it over and over again, continuous focusing on that subject to make sure that it's sharp every time you hit the shutter button, or even sometimes while you're rolling video. But sometimes autofocus just isn't working, it's not cutting it, it's not getting the job done. That's when manual focusing can save the day like a superhero. It's like Superman, he's got a cape on, and he's flying in with, he's like, I will focus manually! Also, manually focusing gives you physical control over your focus, which can be incredibly useful. And in my humble opinion, the absolute greatest benefit of manual lenses is that you can get them way cheaper than an autofocus lens. And I do mean way cheaper. This lens is the lens that I normally use to film these videos. This lens cost me $1,000. It's a great lens and I love it. I use it all the time. However, today's video is being filmed on a lens I bought for $20 on eBay. Super awesome lens, looks great, gets the job done, way cheaper. I mean, $20. Yeah, that's it, just $20. So when do you know when to use manual focusing or when to use autofocusing? Whenever you can use autofocus, use it. You should especially use it if you're tracking a subject, whether you're doing video or photos. If the subject is moving and you need to keep it in focus, autofocus is probably your best bet. Not always though, especially with video. Some of the new cameras are amazing, some of them are not. And there are times when autofocusing just does not work. If you're taking photographs or shooting video in a low light situation and there's not a whole lot of light, the focusing systems that's in the camera, it's not going to be able to pick it up very well. So you can actually go a lot faster by using manual focus in low light. Another situation where manually focusing is way better than autofocusing is if you're doing macro photography or videography. When you're in that close, you want to have pinpoint precision on what part of the subject is actually going to be in focus. Another time that autofocus can fail you is if you're doing portraits and it'll like focus on the ends of the eyelashes and then the eyeball's actually out of focus. And nobody wants that, or the tip of your nose, or the back of your ear. You want the eyeball in focus. That's when you flip the camera over to manual mode and you go ahead and you pinpoint that focus and bam, Bob's your uncle. That's a weird phrase. Why is Bob? Bob is not actually my uncle, or unless do you have an Uncle Bob? I mean, I don't. I've never met a Robert, but nobody called him Bob. Another time that autofocus can fail you is if you're shooting through like glass or like a chain link fence or chicken wire or whatever, and the autofocus wants to focus on either the glass or the fence and not what's behind it. That's what you want to take a picture of, right? Unless you really like it's really pretty fence. I don't know. So you switch over to manual focus mode and you can actually focus on the subject that you want to take a picture of, and the day is once again saved.
Manual focus!
Every modern autofocus lens has the ability to switch over to manual focus. Sometimes there's a little button on the side of the lens that you flip over, and sometimes it's a setting that's in your camera. Older lenses, or vintage lenses as some people like to call them, are manual focus only because at the time the technology didn't exist for autofocusing, so those guys had to do everything by hand, and they also walked uphill barefoot in the snow to get to school because that's what happens. So that's everything I got for you today. I know it's a short one. I hope it was a useful one. If you like this video, go ahead and do the thing where the thumb is pointing up. If you didn't like the video, then the thumb can go down. And I'm not happy about you not liking it. I'm not happy, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll get over it. And if I do new videos like this every single Monday, so if you want to know when that happens, you know, there's the subscribey thing, and then apparently if you ring a bell, then it notifies you that you're a subscriber, because you might not have remembered that, and also that it's Monday, because you might not know it's Monday, and these come out on Monday, so then you'd be like, what? There's a video and it's Monday, all right. And I always ramble at the end of these videos. I should probably stop doing that. So I'm not gonna. Yeah.